Hey, what's up guys, it's Fish here and welcome back to some more Kings of Winter mod gameplay. So, if you don't know what this mod is, it adds in the North as a playable faction to the Age of Charlemagne campaign pack. As well as that, it allows you to go ahead and play as all these cool custom units in a custom battle or online with your friend, obviously granted if they have the campaign pack as well. So today we're playing a siege battle between me and Pixelated Apollo. Unfortunately, there's only one faction in this mod at the moment, which obviously may change if you guys go over and show lots of love for it and subscribe to the Steam Workshop version and kind of tell him in the comments that you want to see more factions. But yeah, at the moment there's only the North, which kind of does make it a bit hard to make a cool looking custom battle, because obviously there's not going to be a lore friendly battle we can do, because there's just a bunch of these houses which are going to be fighting each other, which probably wouldn't be fighting each other in normal like lore friendly battles. So because of that, me and Apollo have to kind of go a bit off script, have some of these houses fight each other, but obviously it still makes for a cool looking battle, and the majority, really all you guys want to see is these units fight, so that's what we'll obviously get. Also, I'll go ahead and run through the army comps as well. You can skip this if you want. I'm going to be probably talking about a few of these houses as well through the intro. So if I drool on at any point, feel free to just go ahead and skip straight to the battle if that's what you're interested in seeing. So, beginning of this battle, we'll go ahead and run through the units, like the sizes of the armies. I have 5,400 men, and Apollo has 4,100. So I have a good like 1,300 man difference. So that should hopefully go ahead and allow me to go ahead and take the castle from Apollo. Or I guess the fortress. Is it a fortress? I guess a city from Apollo. More of like a wooden fortress. So yeah, let's go ahead and run through my army comp really quickly. As I said, obviously feel free to skip this at any point. So to begin with, I have my Mormon swords, which Apollo didn't actually bring any of in the last ambush battle, which I don't know why, because they're a really awesome, cool looking unit. They're a little bit worse than the rest of them, but still really cool nonetheless. I love the way that the bears, they have like bear pelts on over their helmets, the commanders do, and obviously the sigil on the flags and the shields look very, very nice. Also, some of these dudes, wherever they are actually dual-wielding swords. Yeah, right there you can see that the guy is actually dual-wielding like a dagger and a sword, which is a really nice addition to this mod, and I think the China mod also has it as well. Kind of like, just not everyone has the same weapon in a unit, which is really cool to see. Then behind that we have the Glover Warhammers. We've seen these bad boys before. Just one, like the commander's kind of dual-wielding, not dual-wielding, but double-handing the Warhammer. And then everyone else is just kind of one-handing it, which is just really cool. Really, really, really cool. Love the look of the unit. It's probably one of the best like looking units just because they have the Warhammers. It's really, really cool. Then behind that we have the Umber axes. Some of these dudes are actually dual-wielding axes as well, ready to like break shield wall formations and stuff. You can see right there, dual-wielding some axes. Very, very cool. And House Umber is one of my favorite northern houses, I guess, for sure. It's a real shame that she went ahead and cut Great John Umber from the show. I think there was like some scheduling issues with his character, and he had like already committed to some movies or something which he couldn't get out of, which was a real big shame, because in the books, like he's an awesome character, especially at the Red Wedding. He actually goes ahead and like takes on like 9 Freys, because in the TV show, kind of a Red Wedding happens and everyone just kind of dies, and that's about it. But in the books, like there's like a decent brawl. They're fighting in the mead hall, or I guess the dining hall, and Great John Umber takes on like 6 or 7 Frey people before he's subdued. He like literally is just like trying to get to Rob as best he can, like throwing over tables and stuff, trying to make his way to protect Rob as the crossbow bolts that come flying in. And he's just trying to be like, all like the Freys are jumping on him, and he's just, unarmed, and he's just barehanded. Or I'm not sure if he actually had a weapon. I don't know. But yeah, like it took like not like 6 to 9 Freys to actually take him down, or not take it, like subdue him, I guess. So that was just really awesome. He's like an awesome character. So like after he like kind of got cut from season 2, it was a real shame for sure. It would have been cool to see that in the Red Wedding, portrayed in obviously the TV show. So again, you saw my kind of more like my assault force over there. I also have like a beach assault force down here, some more Mormon soldiers, along with some more House Glover Warhammers over here. So the interesting part about this battle is there's actually a fleet. In the battle, and it's actually got its own house and stuff, which is really cool. Like, it'd be really cool if the mod creator actually added like the Greyjoys and stuff, and you could actually have like a proper like house fleet battle between like House Manderley and some of the Greyjoy houses, and like have that like the rest of like the Stark forces just like hiding in the fortress and stuff. It'd be really, really cool. So like hopefully he does want to add in the Greyjoys. It'd be so cool, and it actually helped me and Apollo out kind of create more lore-friendly battles as well. So yeah, we have House Manderley. I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce that. That's how I've always pronounced it in my head from reading the books, but it's kind of a weird word to try and pronounce. So apologies if I am just butchering it, but I'm pretty sure it's Manderley. And yeah, I can't wait for this house as well for this season. Hopefully, the Frey Feast is going to be in this season, and you go ahead and get the leader of this house to go ahead and give his big speech and just his eerie line right at the end. The North remembers, Master Davos. The North remembers. It's just like that. When I read that in the books, it gave me chills. It was awesome. And hopefully it's this season. Like, I'm pretty sure it would be this season. So yeah, I can't wait to see House Manderley come in as a player. You know, as he's talking about how he's eagerly being watched from the Freys and the Lannisters and stuff, and you know, he's just trying to get his son back alive and all that, who was taken prisoner at the Red Wedding. And how, like, the Freys just disrespected them at the Red Wedding. You know, they gave in, put down their arms, and they were cut down like cattle and stuff. It's just such, like, when I was reading that speech, it did just give me chills for sure. So I've got 4 units of House Manderley. Sorry if I've, like, waffled on, but, you know, I'm sure if you stuck around for a little bit, then you at least enjoy this a bit. Apollo's army. Oh, the siege shooting is actually commenced, but it's fine. We'll go ahead and stick it on half speed, just whilst this is going on, because at the moment I'm just kind of really burning the city and stuff, nothing too interesting. So Apollo has these men-at-arms Stark soldiers, or men-at-arms bannermen, I think they're called. They're pretty cool because they have like loads of sigils on their like armor. They're not like an individual house unit. They're kind of just a mix of everything, a mismatch of everything. You kind of got House Manderley, you got House of Bear Island right there, House Mormont, the Stark soldiers. You've also got some Umber and Glover soldiers over there, Karstark. You know, kind of like a mismatch of all the houses kind of into one unit, which is really cool. As well as that, he has some Poor Fellows over here. I didn't actually realise that the Poor Fellows were part of the Faith Militants, but I soon realised as soon as I obviously saw the stars and stuff, because when we were playing the battle, I didn't really look at the units too much. But obviously you can see the pointy stars and stuff. These are the fanatics running around King's Landing. You know, the commander has like a decent mace, but everyone else just has, you know, these wooden, like, kind of like fashioned clubs and warhammers and stuff. So there's 2 units of them bad boys. Then over here he has some Stark pike bannermen. Again, this is going to be a really hard unit to get through, especially in a siege battle. The pikes are going to be brutal. Over here he has some Stark bannerman javelins. Basically just a normal unit with just javelins. Over here he has, like, again, one of my favourite Stark looking units is the bannerman vanguard. But just kind of a mismatch of all the units. And this is something the mod creator does quite a bit, is kind of doesn't give like everyone the same weapon, which is really cool, you know. These are like the elite Stark troops, so the fact that, you know, they'd all probably just like to choose their own weapon. And look at that greatsword right there. Let's just zoom in quickly on that greatsword right there. Look how big that sword is. Imagine trying to just flail that around in the battle. That is awesome. That is really, really cool. I haven't actually noticed it. He has 1 unit of siege catapults, which are going to be shooting at me very, very soon. Actually racking up some kills along my line. Actually destroying some catapults as well. And make sure you stay around to the end, because these catapults, like, I don't think you guys can even guess how many kills these catapults actually get on my soldiers. It's actually pretty ridiculous. Like, it's the most kills I've ever seen. So make sure to watch out for that. He has some more Stark bannermen. Then he goes ahead and has these House Stark greatswords. Just 2-handed bad boys. They have a shield on the back ready to go ahead, and if they need it, to go ahead and whip it out. But I don't think they will. The 2-handed swords are going to be more than enough. Then defending the gate. Oh, actually, he has some more Stark javelinmen coming up to the gate now, because the gate's obviously been destroyed. He has some more Stark, just basic bannerman soldiers along supporting them. He has some Karstark spears. Again, a really nice looking unit. I love the kind of a harpoon kind of feel of the spears. And obviously the shields and the crest on their body armor. Again, you know, it's a real shame that there hasn't been like a mod created for Game of Thrones, because, you know, this is the Dark Ages, especially with the Age of Charlemagne as well. It's a really shame that no one's really just fully gone for it, because imagine replacing all the factions in Age of Charlemagne with like Game of Thrones factions. That'd be awesome. That'd be really, really, really cool. Another massive hit over here, actually just burning a bunch of Apollo swordsmen. Oh my god, that's brutal. The burning animations on this is pretty disgusting. But you know, like a dedicated modder could create a really, really good mod. You know, just replacing all the house factions, all the like Astorius and like Charlemagne and stuff like that. You know, it wouldn't be bad that, you know, we don't have Westeros to kind of look at. Playing in Europe would be fine. You know, most of Game of Thrones is based off, you know, English and European history, you know, medieval history. So I would not mind playing just, you know, just these factions whatsoever. But I'm rambling so much in this intro, I do apologise. So yeah, to finish off Apollo's army has these Reed Longbowmen. We're going to actually click play as well on the battle now, because battle will commence very, very soon. So to finish off his army, he has some of them Reed Longbowmen and some more Bannermen as well. So at the moment my catapults are just shelling his position, trying to go ahead and break his walls down, try and create some holes. I've already created one hole, but I want to go ahead and create 4 or 5 before we go ahead and really advance. I've gone ahead and broken another hole, and the cool thing about Attila is you can actually break down this like entire wall. This entire wall could be destroyed, and you can kind of use it as like a really long like assaulting path, you know, kind of reduce these choke points. Which is something they kind of added in new with Attila, kind of being able to destroy the whole of a wall. Which is a really nice kind of addition. Catapult's going to be going in, actually missing their targets, almost finding a hit. Some more flaming catapults. Going to go and actually finally destroy the wall, level it. And how cool would this be in like Napoleon or something? Like I really wish they had like kind of this kind of feature on the walls and stuff. Because, you know, obviously when in Napoleon the wall just kind of disappears. But if they would have actually had like more of a like an incline of like trying to charge up the wall, it would have made it so much cooler. It really, really would. So still just going ahead and besieging him. Okay, cool. This is where my assault starts. My first team, my group 1, my first assault of my Mormons are going to be advancing right now under missile fire. They don't care, they're going to be going and advancing in defensive test judo, or I think it's mobile test judo. Going to be assaulting these breaches which my siege teams have made. But it just looks really cool. Got the commander in the back, or I guess the sergeant in the back with his sword, just kind of like, come on boys, forward! Or saying that's probably a bit better than my like, come on boys, advance! Like he's just saying, you know, get the hell up. More of the walls being destroyed now. As the boys just advance. We'll get a nice frontal look at these units as they advance as well. Looking awesome. Well, yeah, I feel really sorry for the dudes who are dual wielding. They're going to be getting picked apart for sure. So they're going to be advancing. And obviously I have my Glover Warhammers as well coming off the beach. Advancing a bit more. Going to go ahead and support my first assault team. Because obviously I have 1,400 men more than Apollo. So I can kind of be a bit more careless with my men. So kind of sending them in these groups will be fine for me, I don't think. Oh, look how cool that looks. And the men in the background as well. Advancing. Catapult shooting. Just going ahead and trying to make more breaches. Because again, burning the city as well, trying to reduce his attack and defense. I can destroy this wall, I can destroy all of this wall as well. So I can actually create additional breaches once we're in the battle. And that's something really important to do, especially in this game, is to create additional breaches when you're assaulting. Because what will normally happen is there'll be like a decent amount of like breaches to begin the battle, and then we'll kind of advance forward and we'll kind of engage. And Apollo or the defender will go ahead. Oh god, here we go. Here we go, the catapults of death coming in. Oh, just sending my Glover Warhammers flying. A lot of these guys do get up, thankfully. They're only blown away from a blast, but it does still kill a bunch of my soldiers just straight off the bat. You know, and a lot of these guys have actually lost hit points as well to begin with. And this firing is just going to be brutal. This assault, like, I feel sorry for this one unit. This unit just gets annihilated. Oh, it's just not even funny. Another direct hit, just sending men flying. It's so brutal, especially the blood and the burning and stuff. It's just really, really disgusting in Attila. And this unit is going to be under constant fire, just 24/7. So my first mobile test judo is going to start getting ready to push up here. And if we look from a defender's point of view, as they advance, oh my god, look how cool the sergeant looks, just like with his weapon, trying to make his way to the front. Glover swords coming up as well. Catapult fire coming. We've got more men over there. And here they come. They're making their way up the up the breach. So yeah, as I was saying, like, it's good because once kind of Apollo's going to kind of commit all his men to kind of defending these breaches, and then once he's committed all his men, it's going to allow me as the attacker with more men to kind of create more of these breaches, you know, like kind of create a more central breach here, which I'm going to kind of use to kind of outflank some more of his men and stuff. Also, I've also been moving up over here. I've got a bunch of my House Mormont men tasked with taking the gatehouse. He does obviously have javelins shooting away, actually racking up a bunch of kills. Oh my god, look at that. Look at the death these Mormont swordsmen have taken. Just the javelin fire has been brutal. But they're going to try and push through this gate as best they can. It's not going to be too great for the javelin, like these soldiers, because they're going to be getting hit in the back by javelins and stuff. And they do have to deal with some half decent troops. So the battle has commenced over on the sieges. The Glover soldiers are going to go ahead and commit. The Warhammers are going to go ahead and get involved as well. And you can see, I think this is the unit which got pounded by artillery. And just look how decimated it is. It is down to 36 men. They've lost like 100 and something men. It is just brutal. Bring up some more men. But, you know, my men are just going to be getting picked away from the catapults. It's going to be really brutal, you know, advancing these soldiers. I've got my own catapults going in. Just trying to, again, just burn some more of the cities. Another nice catapult here. Is it going to find a hit? Oh, finding the back of my men as well. That was really, really brutal. Yeah, did you hear one of my soldiers there? He was like, I wish artillery had never been invented. You're telling me. But, I mean, you guys would be having a much harder job. So, luckily, a lot of his shots are actually missing, which is cool. Going to be advancing the Warhammers now up against these spears. And these Warhammers should be doing half decently. Obviously, the spears are going to be very good at kind of holding the line and kind of halting my advance. But the Warhammers are going to be good at smashing through these shields and kind of creating an indent. I actually made a nice little like breach over here. But because of this breach, it's kind of allowed Apollo to kind of surround me and outflank me. So, you know, this would be a perfect time to create another breach. If I was to go ahead and break down this wall, it would give me so much more space to kind of envelop his men whilst he's enveloping mine. Because you can see he's done like a job of kind of just, you know, committing all his men now. Or at least a large portion of his men. Let's go ahead and make sure the boats aren't moving yet. The boats aren't moving yet, so that's all good. See the deadly fighting over here. We're going to just slow down the camera and just get a nice little, like, view of this battle. The archer fire is just obviously pouring in as well. But my swords, even though they're fighting uphill, should be able to push through this. You know, it's only one unit. Obviously, there's another fresh unit ready to go ahead and cause me some more issues. But it looks as if I've been pushed back a bit over on here, this side, with some cast arc spears against my Mormont swords and my Glover Warhammers. Luckily, I do have a bunch of reinforcements. You can see I'm sending in some more Mormont swords to go ahead and hopefully get the job done. I'm also trying to break down this wall. The catapult's going up and just pounding my archers. Oh my god, look at that in the distance. So I've got more of my catapults coming out. You know, my Mormont swords are starting to dwindle over here, so I'm having to reinforce with another unit. Try and throw them into the breach. Support their brethren as they charge in. You know, tempo is so key in a siege like this. Just breaking through the cast arc defense, along with the Stark reinforcements there. You can see I do still have some more men outside the wall as well. Oh yes, brilliant, look at that hit! Burning a bunch of them, also destroying a load more of a wall, so I can kind of use this quickly momentum before he can plug this gap, just to go ahead and throw in more of my swords. As you can see I'm doing, just trying to go ahead and widen this. He is actually going to go ahead and commit a unit of his great swords as well, which is going to be very, very hard for me to deal with. These great swords are obviously going to be a very sturdy unit, especially when they're defending, kind of holding their ground. The flag barrier actually got smacked down there as well. Take the flag, boys. Take it. Some more swords as well coming in and reinforcing. But I don't really have any more reinforcements now. You know, I've kind of committed a lot of men at the gate, which just aren't really making like headway whatsoever. The javelins are really racking up some kills. No, actually, to be fair, we have made a bit of distance. I think originally we were like around here. So we have kind of pushed forward, but we've taken heavy casualties at the gate trying to break through here. Heavy, heavy casualties. If we look from my point of view, you know, the towers are really racking up some kills as we're pushing forward. The swordsmen are looking very defensible. But I do have a lot of reinforcements ready to go, you know. I have a lot of these Umber Warhammers, Glover Warhammers and Umber Axes ready to go and defend. Also have my general over here, and I also have like 4 units of fresh axes as well, ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and commit them pretty soon, but just look at this assault so far. You can see my men pouring in. Actually starting to make some headway over here, am I? Yeah, I actually managed to make some headway. I managed to break through the assault over here. Look how bloody this siege is. Damn. I've managed to push through his swords over here, but, you know, I haven't really got too many men left in this, like, a little assault section. So it's going to be kind of hard. And if we jump over to one of my boatmen, my marines, my house manderly marines are going to be jumping off the boat, ready to go ahead and assault. Hopefully these guys can have better luck, because at the moment Apollo is holding me pretty fiercely at the gate. The horns are going out, and, you know, the siege assault is going to be ready to go ahead and push. Oh, it's so cool. The boats are actually, like, retreating off. They're, like, lifting the men off and then falling back a bit as the men, like, fly. Oh my god, look at them jump. That's hilarious. God, I would not want to mess with House Manderly whatsoever. They get flying soldiers, you know. The catapult's coming out as well. Apollo's, like, training his catapults to come and assault me over here. I shouldn't be up against it too badly. These marines should be doing half decent, because they're only up against poor fellows and some men-at-arms, so they're kind of weaker troops. The catapult fire is going to be pretty brutal, but I'm pretty confident in my marines, my House Manderly marines, to go ahead and push through this assault, or at least hold off, like, at least make Apollo commit some more men here. Obviously the archer fire from the towers and stuff is going to be pretty painful. Do the boats just sail off? That's really cool that the boats just sail off. It makes a lot of sense as well. Is this something which is actually in the base game? I'd actually like to know, because it allows you to kind of release more men. If you had an entire naval force... Oh, that's probably just something that happens in port assaults. It goes to show how few port assaults I've actually played. But I guess it just allows you to kind of release more men. That's actually a really nice feature. A really nice feature. Something I just didn't know existed. Or maybe it didn't. Maybe it's the mod creator added it in. So my marines kind of doing a very tidy job at the beach. And if we go back and look at the current assault, you can see I'm having to commit kind of the rest of my men, even having to bring around some more of my warhammers to kind of aid this assault, because my men are starting to dwindle, you know. He's actually managed to push me back over here. My men are falling back on this breach. You know, his great swords, his vanguard, which he committed. But oh my god, look at the death here. This is just brutal. This really is just disgusting. Over here, though, where I've kind of made some more breaches, my axes are really starting to make some decent ground here. They're kind of opening up this entire section of wall. Oh my god, that catapult. Opening up this entire section of wall has kind of allowed me to really start causing some pressure, kind of creating my own little beachhead right here. As you can see, I've kind of gone ahead and like kind of created a nice little gap here, but look at that catapult just sending my men flying. The axes are going to be up against some more of the great swords, which are going to be hard for them, along with like some reed longbowmen and some more Stark javelin men. But I'm going to be pushing in as deep as I can. Also trying to go ahead and send a unit of axes in the flank over here to try and open up this breach, because this is obviously, oh my god, I actually throw axes as well. Jesus Christ! I totally forgot that the Umber axemen actually go ahead and throw axes. They killed so many there. But yeah, I'm trying to free up these men. I don't really have too many left. But I look at it, there's also some of Apollo's men kind of like falling. If they're retreating, oh no, that's my general. Yeah, my general's actually been committed as well. He's dismounted and he's decided to go ahead and jump into the battle to try and like win on this side. Because winning up on this side will kind of just completely give my men some more space. If we go ahead and press K, you can go ahead and see the battle unfold a bit more effectively. And if we hover over it, if it allows me, no, it's not even letting me see how many men are left. But, you know, it's pretty close right now. The gate battle is still fiercely underway, but the walls have kind of been won by me. Apollo doesn't really have too much left over here now, as he's committing the rest of his forces. Is he gonna... Okay, there we go. So yeah, there's only about 200 men difference right now, which really isn't a lot whatsoever. Like, at all. It's actually really, really close. I've lost a lot of men actually taking these walls. My soldiers at the gate are slowly pushing forward. You see I actually went ahead and committed some more Umber axes to this battle. And Apollo went ahead and committed some of his greatsword or his vanguard. But just look at the death. My men have had a bloody, bloody fight trying to take this gate. Which is really awesome, you know. It would be like so hard trying to assault this gate. But I'm starting to push through from the other side. But again, you know, my Umber swords, my Mormon swords, they're not routing. They're holding their ground and they're pushing up here. Especially now my Glover and Umber men are kind of assaulting these Reed longbowmen. They're only fighting archers, so they should be cutting through these guys fairly quickly. It might take a little bit of time, but you know, once they start cutting through, they should be doing a very decent job. And then obviously they'll get a nice rear charge against these soldiers. The javelin men are coming to support. And by the looks of it, my men are actually kind of failing a bit at the gate. I've only got my Umber soldiers left. But just look at the death here. There's so many bodies. My God, that is brutal. That really, really is. Over here, we're starting to push through on this side. Apollo still does have a decent amount of men left. He's actually bringing his general over here to go ahead and assault me. My Marines are winning the day, actually getting a nice outflank over here against the poor fellow who's pushing back with men at arms. But Apollo's general, who's actually been fighting these Marines, I kind of glimpsed over it a bit. I'm going to get a really nice charge in the back, sending a bunch of them flying. And then just getting the hell out of there. But again, I'm going to be killing a bunch of them as they fall out. These Marines have, I guess, spear-looking weapons, so... But again, these poor fellows are not giving up without a fight whatsoever. They are fighting with the fierceness of their religion. And they're actually doing a very good job. A very, very good job. And that actually gives me an idea. Something that me and Apollo could actually play is kind of do like a faith. Because there's actually, I thought there was only one faith militants unit in this mod. But by the looks of it, there's actually like a couple. Obviously, you have the poor fellows and the sons of the chosen. So you could actually kind of do like a religious war. Because obviously the Starks are old gods. Obviously House Manderley are the new gods. But a lot of the House Stark factions are actually... Yeah, are actually old gods. So you could kind of do like the faith militants versus some of the House Stark factions. Or the northern houses. Which would be very cool. So I try to go ahead and countercharge over here before Apollo gets his pikes down. But as soon as his pikes go down, it's going to be very, very brutal for me. If you go back to the gate, kind of the main fighting is over clearing out the rest of the gate troops and also winning over here against the Reed longbowmen, which we will be doing very, very tidily right there. Going ahead and routing the last of them. Apollo still does have a decent kind of a bulk of troops left. Like, I'm running very low. I've kind of managed to go ahead and minimize the casualties down to about a 500-man difference, but still, we have to get through 2 units of pikemen still, which is going to be very hard to do, because obviously I'm going to have to engage them from the front. Up against the javelin men, which are again holding, and you also have the Karstarks as well, the Karstark spearmen, which have kind of lost some ground. I've finally managed to... Oh my God, look at that guy getting stabbed on the floor! Jesus Christ! That is brutal. I finally managed to actually make it up this gate. Finally, but I've lost so many good men here at this gatehouse. So many brave Mormon soldiers from Bear Island have died right now. So many, along with the Umbers. I don't think I actually committed any Warhammers, any Glover's troops over here, but finally I've managed to go ahead and get a surround over here. That should hopefully help me clean out the rest of these Karstarks. But still, they're surrounded and they're holding. Like, I assume they would have routed by now or something, but they are, you know, holding their ground. They're not giving an inch. But just look, I committed about 6 or 7, like, full-strength units. So that's almost like, that's over 1,000 men to this gate I committed. And just look at what's left. My God, that's brutal. That really is. But the axes should be cutting through these guys eventually. Also, I have these javelin men absolutely surrounded. They have nowhere to go. They're boxed into a corner. So these guys, they've whipped out their swords, their broadswords, but my axes and my warhammers will be pushing through very, very soon. just the superior weapons and superior armor. They're not going to be around for much longer. But I really like this. This is cool, like fighting in the woods and stuff. This looks awesome. That's right, boys. Keep pushing. So that's my assault over there. If we look at the rest of the battle, I'm kind of just waiting over here because I don't obviously want to engage these pikemen, which are actually in a really cool position. Like, look at this. They're kind of using the siege towers as kind of a really nice like cover from my archer fire. As well as that, they're kind of using it as like protection from the flanks. It's very hard to outflank this unit. And a lot of the archers are just kind of whiffing and just kind of hitting these catapults as well, which is giving these guys a lot of protection, which is really nice by Apollo. My Marines, the Marines did their job. They forced Apollo to actually commit another unit of pikemen to this engagement, and also managed to they pushed back like a lot of units. But yeah, I forced Apollo to commit his general, and also go ahead and commit some more units of pikemen. Like, imagine if the pikemen were kind of defending 2 streets. It'd make it much harder for me to actually outflank them.
The enemy refuses to admit defeat.
It really, really would. So, forcing Apollo to commit another unit of pikemen at the beach. My Marines have done me a very, very proud job. And they're still fighting, man. They haven't given their last yet. They're still, you know, fighting, trying to do their house proud, trying to do the north proud, fighting against these. It's funny as well because, like, I was saying how, like, the two, like, we could do, like, an old gods versus the new gods within this mod with the units which are currently in it. But it's funny that the 2 units we have fighting are both the new gods. You know, House Manderley are new gods, and so are the Poor Fellows. So, like, out of all the houses these units can come up against, they're fighting, you know, their religious equals, I guess. The pikemen as well are actually taking a bit of a pounding. We're actually reducing them. I did decide to go ahead and try my best to go ahead and engage these guys. Catapult shots coming in. But again, it's just going to be a massacre. You can see the dead right there. It's just so hard to get through these pike formations. I'm going to go ahead and bide my time a little bit longer. Just fall back and wait till my general has gone ahead and flanked round. Because you see, I'm currently going ahead and flanking round with my Stark general over here. He's looking in my favour, but again, these pikes are just whipping down my numbers. My Marines are starting to fail on the beach. You know, this could be very close. But I do have my general coming around the flank, and that's all I have to do is just bide my time. I'm bringing loads of men over at the gate, which again is just look at that gate. So many men, like a good 2,000 men lost their lives at this gate. Just an absolute massacre, it really is. Especially over here as well, these walls were so bloody. Like, look at this. This is just insane. The amount of death. Even over here as well, this engagement didn't even go on for too long. So I'm going to be bringing my general around. I'm going to try and make another push at these pikes as they came forward a little bit. I try to countercharge them as they're slowly advancing. But again, these pikes are just so hard to engage from the front. It's almost impossible. I just need to kind of keep them occupied whilst my general comes around. The siege crew's going to try their best to hold back my general, but they're going to be getting killed so quickly. Oh, there's a head gone there. These guys are not going to be standing a chance. So my Marines finally did rout. They finally were defeated. But I don't know if it's going to give Apollo enough time, because if he loses another unit of pikes, it's going to be very hard for him to kind of turn this battle around. And I know most of you guys already know this. Me and Apollo aren't trying to create the most MLG looking battle. There's obviously a lot of things Apollo could do to just straight up win this battle. You know, Apollo, he could have just fallen back to his one choke point. But, you know, we're trying to create kind of like a chaotic, cool, cinematic looking battle. Obviously, if he just fell back, there would literally be nothing I could do against these pikes. And it's kind of lame to do that, so... Oh my god, that's like an in-sync, 3 of them just died. My archers as well, just point blank shooting. Just trying to stop these archers from turning around. I mean, these pikemen from turning around. These guys are just getting decapitated. Pulled out their pikes, they whipped out their swords as they know that there's no time for them now. What remains of the rest of my troops are going to be pouring in. The rest of my Mormon swords. My general Umbaractus as well coming into support. So what's left? Let's have a look what's left. He has 1 unit of pikemen left, which is actually very depleted. There's only 79 of them left. House Manderley did an amazing job on the beaches. They were outnumbered, and they did a really good job at just kind of holding the line.
Men are losing hope.
You can just see the death and destruction which happened. It looks like a lot of my men, but that's because my men are brightly coloured, so you can't really see too many of his men. So yeah, we're going to be advancing, fighting some more of these poor fellows which remained. Okay, now it's a bit of a more religious feud. You've got the old gods versus the new right here. Oh my god, that was so sick! That Warhammer just took that guy's head off like it was nothing. Just like, see you later. You know, that's one really cool thing about Attila. Apollo bringing up his pikemen as well. Again, he doesn't really want to abuse the fact, because like pikes are just so OP. If you don't have a pike unit or archers or a catapult to deal with the pike units, they're literally invincible from the front. There's nothing you can do whatsoever against them. So like Apollo doesn't really want to abuse that fact. You know, pikes are very strong. They're more acting as a force of kind of just, you know, if these poor fellows fall back, the pikes are just going to kill them. Bringing up his general as well. It's funny. Apollo's going to bring up his general to fight mine. We're going to have a nice little general off along with some more of these troops over here. My general's going to be charging. As Bo looks at these guys form swords. Oh my god, they just got smacked! That dude just like leapt at that guy and just took him to the ground. And they're just going to be getting cut to shreds. They do not even stand a chance right now. A lot of my... Oh my god, over there, that guy just got wrecked. So his general's still putting up a good fight, but still, it's just not going to be enough. You can see the heads. He's throwing in some more poor fellows to go ahead and support his general. But I, again, also have some umber axes. But look how tired my men are. My men are exhausted. They've been fighting just horrifically throughout this battle. I mean, I guess so is his men as well. On the beaches, these soldiers were fighting pretty tooth and nail. Going to bring up some more axes to go ahead and support. Add to my general's shield wall.
Enemy general is fallen.
We finally go ahead and slay his general, but it's not going to make much difference right now. The battle does look like that House Umber, House Mormon, House Manderley, House Glover, and House Umber are going to be victorious today. It's kind of weird to say, you know. I think that's something we can do next, though, is actually create that scenario where we kind of do the Faith of the Seven against, because you kind of have House Manderley and the Faith of the poor fellows and the sons as well, kind of acting as a force. And there you go, a Pyrrhic victory for the attackers. It was an awesome battle. Okay, cool. Make sure you stuck around for this. I guess if you're hearing this, you would have stuck around. Look how many kills Apollo's catapult team got. They got 760 kills. They just absolutely annihilated my men as they tried to assault. You can kind of tell the units. Like, this unit was one of the units which just got pounded. They just routed from the missile fire, which was just gruesome. My Marines at the top did a decent job. Yeah, they definitely held their own. For sure, I'm proud of them. See the pikemen on Apollo's side doing a bunch of kills, 300 men. Vanguard doing good, the archers doing good. You know, this great sword unit as well, killing 271. The poor fellows doing actually really well. I'm surprised how good they are because they're really lightly armored. But that'll make it good because if we do come to do like a Faith of the Seven versus the old gods, it'd be really cool to kind of do that. Yeah, my Warhammer's doing a good job. Catapult's doing good. Yeah, I feel sorry for my House Mormon swords. They were the forlorn hope. They were the first troops in at the gate, which was just a brutal circumstance, and also on the walls as well. So they kind of took the brunt force of the first assault. So they didn't really rack up too many kills, but they did their job. You know, I'm proud of them. General killing 257 as well, which was awesome. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to drop a like and a comment. It really helps out the video kind of grow and get up there in the search results, which is really awesome. So yeah, if you enjoyed this and want to see more, please go ahead and like. It lets me know that you guys enjoy it as well. As what I just previously said. Also, make sure to go over and subscribe to this on the Steam Workshop. There will be a link in the description to that. If more people jump on this and tell the mod creator to go ahead and create another faction or some more units or something, the more likely he is probably going to go ahead and do that. So if you want to go ahead and see more of this, see more factions, go over and tell him that on the Steam Workshop. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time, and fish out.